I got my first mobile phone when I was 27, but I got my daughter her first mobile phone when she turned 10. Not because she needed one, but because I wanted to make sure that she could contact me anytime and that she was safe. And then I got my elderly parents a mobile phone, one for my mom, one for my dad. That's when the challenge of making sure that all of these mobile phones are always working and topped up dawned on me. In my case, it was not just different operators, but different geographies as well. And I'm not alone in this problem. There are apparently 5.5 million people who have the same challenge. My name is Neeraj Bhatia, and I set up Kwikpay to exactly address this problem. Kwikpay is an app, a super fast, super easy app through which you can top up mobile phone for any operator, any device, not just in the UK, in about 100 countries. It addresses the problem for a parent like me, but in making this super fast, super easy app, we've created a top-up experience for about 35 million prepaid users in UK across diverse 84 odd operators in a marketplace that is worth billions of pounds. And it just doesn't stop there. Our vision is to make Kwikpay a default marketplace for top-up of any prepaid service. And in working towards this vision, we are already bringing on board a host of digital services, digital gaming services, high street gift cards, and prepaid TV. And it's not just about the digital economy. We'd like to bring to this platform anything which is prepaid, all the way up to prepaid gas and prepaid electricity. We went beta live in January of this year, and since then we've attracted about 5,000 users to this platform. Of this, 50% of the users have used our service to top up at least once on the platform. And there is no better review than a returning customer. We've got 75% of our customers who are returning for another one. 25% of our customers have become loyal users in a very short span of time, and they've done 5+ top-ups on our platform. Our USP really is about multi-operator, operator-agnostic, services-agnostic platform, a top-up experience which is just under a minute, irrespective of what service it is. I set up this business about 2 years ago, and in the last 10 months, we've ramped up the team to about 14 people. That includes a dedicated technology team, a 24/7 operations team, and a customer service team, which is waiting to handle customer issues. I think we are onto something over here. The prepaid services market is a multi-billion pound market. We've got a first mover advantage in this marketplace, and we need the help. We need your help to really take it to millions of users in UK and then to Europe and rest of the world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Neeraj. That's bang on time, so well done. Prepay sort of services. I mean, I guess where my head is two questions. One is, are there not retail outlets today who can top up phones to multiple operators?
Yes, there are. There are, but you know, mobile phone today has become a remote control of our life. We need it working now, not when I can get to a shop and do a top-up. Okay, so this is about doing a top-up where you are, when you are, irrespective of what time or day or location you are on. You know, we live in a very now environment today.
Right, agreed. So I accept that. Next question, just in terms of market size, there's a big number of people with a prepay mobile phone.
35 million.
But that market is declining relative to postpay, is it?
It is. It's not growing. It's about stagnant, declining at 1 or 2%. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. But on the other side, there is this whole other digital economy which is really coming in and growing, like prepaid gaming, Xbox, PSP, Spotify, Nintendo, iTunes, Google Play. Yeah. You've got high. If you go to a supermarket today, there is a big counter that you just see gift cards, right from H&M to Next to. And that economy is going to move into a digital world.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You've got prepaid. Sorry.
No, you're okay. What kind of financials have you generated after 5,000 users?
We've done about 4,500 top-up transactions in about 4 months. In the first 4 months of our operation, and that business is upwards of £50,000.
50,000 off 4,000. Okay.
The average transaction value is about 11.5.
Okay.
So that's your revenue since January is 50,000.
Correct.
What do you expect it to be in 2016?
We are in beta phase and just about getting out of beta phase, and we've revamped the whole app with the customer experience, UI, and all the feedback that we've got. In the first full year of operation, we expect to ramp up to about 165,000 users, which is about 0.25% of the prepaid market, and that 165,000 users would generate for us about the top up revenue of about 8.5, on which Kwikpay would make about £500,000. In the year 2, we expect to go up to about 564,000 users, which again is about 1.5% of the prepaid market, 63 million top line turnover, and making about 4.5 million.
Are there anybody else?
4.5 million would be your turnover.
Correct.
And then what is your gross profit and net profit expected to be?
So that's 4.5 million is a turnover. We expect
Yes.
to do a cash break even in quarter 5.
Okay.
Q5.
Q5.
What's your go-to-market plan to get from 5,000 to 165,000?
So far we've done very limited of marketing.
Okay.
We are right now getting out of a beta phase to get into a proper launch phase. And in the first phase, our whole marketing effort is going to be around digital marketing. The first 5,000 users have given us a profile of users, and we are working with an agency to create like audiences and go after them in the Facebook marketing, the Instagram marketing, and generate from there. In addition to that,
Yeah, so can I just ask, so you mentioned a number of different opportunities that you could potentially explore in terms of kind of prepaid top-ups and that kind of thing. Where do they sit on your kind of development roadmap over the next 2 to 3 years?
we've got UK operators today. We've got operators in about 100 countries today. Xbox is live, Nintendo is live, Steam is live, Skype is live, Spotify is live, Facebook is live. And we are working on a host of digital gift cards. Hopefully in the next quarter we should be able to bring them live. Okay. And then we are going after a host of other services. Prepaid TV, we are already in discussion with two prepaid TV operators for that.
Are there any other app developers doing something very similar to you are?
Not really. We haven't seen, not in the UK. There are similar platforms that we've seen in India, but not in the UK.
And would they be able to then start operating into the UK and obviously to sort of deteriorate some of your market share?
Having an app is one part, but the whole content of relationships which comes from the operators in each individual market is another part. So that's what really makes a big difference.
Niraj, we've run out of time, so we've had our brilliant 3-minute pitch and then 5 minutes of questions. So well done, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ankh Rah is a health and nutrition company supplying the highest quality natural food supplements. It was created in response to the general public's growing concern for health and lack of nutrition in modern foods. For individuals and sports professionals in the UK wanting to increase their functional energy, whether in everyday life or sports performance, Ankh Rah supplies the highest quality in natural nutrition without any adverse effects to the general public, providing health benefits on a cellular level. We are the pioneers for introducing moringa in the UK and supply the highest quality moringa powder and tablets found worldwide. Unlike energy drinks or coffee, where there's a growing concern they give a short-term energy boost, followed by a come down where you then have to repeat the process to gain more energy. Ankh Rah moringa is completely natural, sourced from an ancient plant modern scientists call the miracle tree that gives you improved functional energy levels. This gives long-lasting energy, allowing you to function without having a come-down effect. It raises the base energy level function, unlike other energy-boosted supplements on the market. The energy boost is sustainable due to its natural, wide, unique range of over 90 nutrients working in synergy that also provide general health benefits. The powder can be taken with water made as a tea, mixed into natural juices and smoothies or in foods and meals, while the tablet can be taken quite easily at any time with water. We supply the highest quality, ensuring our customers get the full benefits on a cellular level, and are available online and in independent health food stores across the UK. We have helped many individuals and families across the UK improve their health and increase energy levels, as well as many athletes, including fighters, at the Amateur European IMAF Mixed Martial Arts Championships in 2015. We receive many positive results from our customers on how it's helped them, as well as showing their love for our company and our product by voting for us, allowing us to win multiple industry awards over the past 3 years. Constant desire for energy, so we work harder, play harder, is putting a burden on the planet and flooding the market with unhealthy products that are plagued our society with an illusion that there is a quick fix and shortcuts. Well, there are no shortcuts in life. What we are doing is recasting the balance, powering modern society in a positive and healthy way. We are giving a world where we can do more with our time and our life, and more important, sustain that through health. We are, in essence, more functional for longer.
Well done. And bang on time, Charles. So, wow, I'm kind of looking, there's going to be a bunch of questions about volumes and revenues, and so get prepared for those. I'm going to just start by looking at your chart and say, I'm sort of gobsmacked to say that the Moringo is equal to carrots and bananas, orange, spinach and milk in a glass, all in one. Proof?
Okay, well, basically, the Moringa is being tested, and being looked at since 2008 by the World Health Organization, and it sustains over 90 nutrients, all on a cellular level, and we've actually had our Moringa nutritionally tested to see that it has got all these compounds, because it's actually amazing, which again is why the scientists call it the miracle tree, because, for instance, you don't get protein from usually plants, and this is one of the plants that contain protein at a high level. So we have nutritionally tested it.
You have, but you're still waiting for some medical supporting approval of the product, or not?
No, it's not. As a medical, it's not medical. It's an actual food supplement.
Right. Okay.
So Moringa is from a different plant? Is it? It's not a combination of things being given a trade name. It's an actual...
It's an actual plant that originated at the foot of the Himalayan mountains, and it's spread across Africa. We've been researching it since 2008, traveling and visiting various Moringa farms. We also are in contact with Moringa farmers all over the world, and basically it's now growing that it's in most subtropical countries in the world. So starting at the foot of the Himalayan mountains, getting into Africa, and it's now found in the West Indies.
So it is something that could scale up. It is sustainable. It's not going to be something like we heard today. Sandalwood was very difficult.
No, it's growing at an incredible rate. I mean, the nearest I've heard it now to the UK is that they're growing it now in Spain. Okay. But not all Moringa is the same. The higher the qualities, the more the benefits. So we've met customers that's taken Moringa, and they said that they're not experiencing like energy levels and stuff like this. And maybe it's the Moringa is of a weak strain. Like I said, we do get Moringa sent to us from farmers all over the world, and they're all different.
I'm just going to jump in, Charles, so just conscious of time. Can you just tell me a little bit about the business today? So when did you start trading? Where you distributed and kind of what's the performance been like?
After 2 years of research, over 2 years of research, we started trading in 2011. Okay. We've got the products into distributors, so we've got distribution channels that distribute the products all over the UK.
What does your revenue look like, just say, over the last 2 years?
Over the last 2 years, come January 2015, our revenue was at 33,000. And come January 2016, our revenue was at 25,000, just going into 26,000.
So the year to January 2015 was 33,000.
Yes.
The year following it was at 25.
Yeah. This is due to the business was started from my front room on a shoestring budget. So we used all the revenue that we gained back into advertising and marketing, because when we started saying Moringa, no one knew about Moringa. So we had to create the awareness of the benefits of Moringa, which
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So by creating the awareness, the drop in our revenue was because we could not sustain the advertising that we were actually doing, which is why, you know, because of if we get a cash injection, then it will enable us to do the correct advertising and marketing, because we've got the highest quality Moringa found anywhere in the world, no doubt.
How many in your,
you know, so with the correct
how many in
advertising.
your team currently? How many people are supporting?
There are 3 of us in our team. So we've got an expert in business and finance, we've got an expert in nutrition, and expert in sports.
Yeah, this product here, how much would this cost me if I was to buy this in a retail shop?
If you was to buy that in a retail shop, that would cost you £15.
And how much would it cost from your point of view? What's the gross margin on it?
The gross margin on that, we give the distributors buy that from us for £7.
Okay.
And what does it cost you to bring it in?
It cost us, to produce one of those, it cost us around £1.60.
Nice margin.
Yeah.
Wow, absolutely.
We like that.
Okay.
We're running out of time, I'm afraid, Charles, but thank you. Thank you, because your 3 minutes was bang on and we've finished our 5 minutes of quenching. So best of luck with the business and the products and the growth, and thanks for sharing it today.
Well, thanks for having us here. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much, Charles.
Thank you, Charles.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Chico. Some of you might know me as Chico Town from the X Factor and Dancing on Ice. I am the owner and the creator of BlockFit. It is a revolutionary workout. It's 4 workouts in one class. It's the first of its kind. And it's done in 4 blocks: dance, combat, HIIT, high intensity interval training, and yoga-inspired moves and meditation. You are expected to burn between 650 and 1,000 calories, according to your body type, your age, of course, your intensity. It's all done to original music sung by yours truly. Believe it or not, about 14 months ago, this was just an idea. Somebody offered me the chance to showcase it at the biggest fitness event in the country. And of course, Richard Branson's saying came in my mind, if you're offered a great opportunity, take it and run with it. Of course, within 2 months, we showcased it, and it's been the talk of the fitness industry. We've just rolled it out to 67 gyms, Duncan Bannatyne gyms. I've just trained 152 new instructors, as well as another 133 independent that are teaching it across the UK, from Scotland all the way to the south of England. I've been in talks with the government, Tracy Crouch, who is the sports minister, and I told her about the concept. She absolutely loves it. And she said, what's your vision? I said, my vision is my passion, and that is to do for PMA, positive mental attitude, health and fitness, what Jamie Oliver did for school dinners. I've got 2 children. I know where the world is going, social media, body awareness. I mean, my little girl turned around to me at 10 and said, oh, I've got big thighs. I was like, what? Something is wrong with this picture. So basically, we are what I'd call living in a bird and the cage syndrome. Everyone's decorating the cage, but we're forgetting to feed the bird. What BlockFit does, or what I intend to do, is start at grassroots and re-educate. Through habit we got here, and through habit we can get there. The mind is a fertile ground, and we want to put that positive mental attitude, belief that they can achieve, and be the spark that fuels their fire to go higher, so they can become the future. And that is basically my dream. Is BlockFit is a workout with a heart, and it's with a message. If it's not universal, we don't teach it, and if it's not love, we don't preach it. And that's basically it.
Chico, Thank you, and well within time, which is fantastic, because not many people have done that today. So well done. First question is obviously around how you think you're really differentiated, because even today we've had quite a few people that have put kind of fitness with music, and then of course there's lots of people out there not in here today that put fitness and music. So tell me what BlockFit is and why it's uniquely different.
The unique selling point here, it is the first time that you ever had 4 disciplines. I was inspired by Bruce Lee. That's where he took the best of everything, put it together and created his own style. So I thought, okay, what's the best out there? Zumba, dance. Insanity, hit. Les Mills, body combat worldwide. And of course, especially the most important thing about this is the well-being aspect of it. This is what brings, it's the cement that glues all of this together. Yes, we can look great here, but if we don't win the battle here and reconnect with who we truly are, then we're winning a losing battle. That really reconnect, the reason, the essential message is essentially to get this. This is all just a vehicle to make you reconnect. And the wellness and the well-being, as we know, we've got illnesses, ADHD, autism, all of these illnesses that are happening in the children. And we're going, hold on, why?
Got it.
Okay.
I'm conscious of time, and these guys have got some good question. That's good.
So you're in the the growth category, which means that you've been up and running for how long?
Yes, 6 months now.
And how's that been going?
Amazing. I'm not a crash. My wife just put some figures down.
Okay,
Within
good.
6 months,
Yeah.
this is net. We spent £40,000. We had an income of 46,253. We are in profit of 6,253. We have licensing fees from all of these instructors, and the income from that is 4,511. We have absolutely no expenditure, as in to lay out at all, other than providing the music 4 times a year, and most of it we do it myself and other producers.
And as you go on, is this going to scale up through the licensing?
Absolutely. The more we have, we're trying to go to Europe. We just came back from FIBO and we met different distributors around the world: Africa, China, Europe, America, and they want us to go out and showcase it.
And do you have a plan for, like in year 3, what your turnover's likely to be?
My wife does, but all I can tell you is
she didn't write it on the paper.
Yeah, this year she would be getting told off. This year we're looking to triple or quadruple this.
Yeah.
And within the next 2 or 3 years, we want it to obviously probably 10 times that. But please forgive me, I'm not a figures man, so
Okay.
I couldn't. I'd be lying to you. Hands up! I'd be lying to you if I said to you
Don't do
exactly.
that.
All I know is, within 1 year, I said that we're going to achieve this. We've done it in 6 months.
Yeah.
Within 2 or 3 years, I said we're going to take over Europe and that side. And my other vision is between 3 and 5 years, 2 to 5 years, is take over America and the rest of the world. So it becomes a brand as big as Zumba. That's my vision for it.
Okay.
What do you think you need to do to actually get you there? Because I guess, opening doors initially, you're super enthusiastic,
Yeah.
kind of got a brand behind
Yeah.
you. How do you start to break into markets where you're perhaps not as well known?
Well, very simple. The people that we're working, I'm working with a lady called Jackie Hobbs. She's the creator of PT3, and basically she's got me with certain people that have got gyms. They put it all around the world, so they've got distributions in all these countries, and they love the idea, and they want to put this as a bolt-on with all their territories. So we're having meetings next week, and this is where we're helping to flourish. But really, the bottom line is finance. Money, money, money. If you look at the greatest ideas, Zumba or Insanity, what's behind it is great marketing. And great marketing needs money. Right now, we've done everything on a passion and a shoestring, and we're hopefully, we can expand with this great opportunity to just take it up there, make it a national brand, a brand awareness. And then, of course, it's like, as my grandma say, a drop by a drop until the river floods.
Who creates the actual fitness workouts? Obviously, 4 different disciplines that you're experiencing all 4 disciplines.
The first one was choreographed by 4 different people, but the second one was choreographed by me, apart from the yoga, which is by someone called Lisa Curden. So I have different people that I can call on.
Specialising in.
Yeah. But the choreography is also done by me as well, so.
And then your team, so I get the concept that you license it out. How many people are in the team at the moment, currently?
Myself, my wife, that's it.
So it's just the two?
Just the two of us, as in, you mean the owners and people running it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you
And
see
then I've
that,
got...
do you see that expanding in the next 12
Oh,
months?
yes, absolutely. I've got, as I said, the third person is Jackie Hobbs, who's a consultant. And of course, what we now need to do is grow the company, meaning hire people who are experts in their field. I've pretty much been a one-man band doing it all, taking payments, doing this, juggling, and I've done pretty good so far. But now we need to step it up, and that is hiring, having the company and going, that's the finance department, I don't want to, that's that, you take care of it, so we can have a board meeting, we'll talk about it, I delegate and say, right, get on with it, and then report back to me. And that's going to be the next phase. I suppose that's phase 2.
Sure.
Right now it's just phase 1.
Thank you. We've run out of time, so
Yeah, we have.
great pitch, and you answered the questions phenomenally well. So thank you, sir. Good job.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Have a nice day.
Good stuff.
Well done.
All right, thank you very much.
I want to kind of talk to you today briefly about coffee. Sadly, it's not the newest kind of frappuccino from the Starbucks around the corner, or any kind of energy drinks to keep you going through your long evening. Instead, my company BioBean deals with the waste from the coffee industry, the waste coffee grounds. So, I mean, how many of you guys have had a coffee this evening? I imagine the majority.
We're on it.
Well, about every day we drink in the UK about 70 million cups of coffee each day, and that produces about 500,000 tonnes of waste coffee grounds. Our company BioBean is the first company in the world to industrialise the process of turning all of these waste coffee grounds into a range of advanced biofuel products. Both a liquid biofuel, a biodiesel used for things like powering buses, cars and various transport systems, and also a solid biofuel product. Actually two kinds of solid biofuel products. The first is a biomass pellet, which we've been producing now for about a year or so. And the second is a biomass briquette, which you can see in front of you now, called coffee logs. And very excitingly, this competition has come very timely for us because we actually launched our coffee log product through the VOOM crowdfunding campaign as well a couple of weeks ago, which was very well funded and got a good amount of press behind and that sort of stuff.
Well done, you.
Thank you. So the coffee log is essentially it's a solid biofuel product. It's used for things like powering barbecues, pizza ovens, and stoves and that sort of stuff at home. As I say, the pellets are used as conventional biomass pellets used in things like biomass boilers for powering factories, homes and supermarkets and that sort of stuff as well. The company was founded about 2.5 years ago by myself. In that time, I've raised several £1 million in financing, built a team of now getting up for just over 25 people, and we built a very large factory up in Cambridgeshire, just outside Huntingdon. The factory is about 40,000 square feet and has the capacity to process 1 in 10 cups of coffee in the UK, which is a stat I like very much indeed. So, in theory, if you've had 10 coffees collectively between you, I've recycled one of them.
7 million.
Yeah, exactly. It's just about 7 million cups on a daily basis, so about 50,000 tonnes a year. And so essentially the process works. I'm conscious of time, so I don't know how well I'm getting on, but the process essentially works that all these waste coffee grounds are produced, and the question is how you can get hold of those. So we formed contracts and negotiated contracts with a range of different clients, ranging from some very large instant coffee factories, some of the names you'll know about, as well as a number of the very large high street brands. And on top of that, with waste management companies who essentially do the logistics on our behalf. The waste coffee grounds are collected from various sources, literally from an independent coffee shop up to the biggest instant coffee factory in the UK, brought to our factory. And there we then essentially extract the oils from the coffee grounds. Coffee is a very interesting feedstock, both in terms of its chemical composition and in terms of its energy content. The oils are essentially turned into this product here, which is biodiesel, which I'm sure will be the nicest smelling biodiesel you've ever smelt. It smells of coffee, unsurprisingly. And that's then used as a liquid transport fuel. The residual biomass is then pelletized or briquetted and turned into these solid fuel products, and then we make money from selling those products to a range of different customers, and ideally back to the same customers that we actually take the coffee grounds from in the first place, and really creating a total closed loop system and business model throughout that.
I'm going to have to move, Arthur, because you're slightly over time. We want to make sure we get our questions in. So I'm going to, if it's okay, love the idea and get it. Fantastic. Well done, you. Let's get straight to the financials, because you now say you're off and running with 25 people. So give me current year revenue and profit.
In terms of financial,
what's your turnover?
I'm going to be really boring. I can't give you figures for revenue because we don't disclose them. But,
you can't. Okay, fine. So we've got to scale your business somehow.
So I can give you kind of tonnage and gross, margin. I don't know what the sensible way to do it is.
What sort of margin percentage in your business?
Can you give us what would be in Company's House anyway?
Yeah, last year we turned over just shy of £1 million, and next year we expect to do, this financial year we expect to do about quadruple that.
Okay,
great.
That's good. And profit margin, you reported on the 1 million?
So profit margin currently is around getting on for the 30% mark and looking to increase to around the 55% mark this year, and then we should be hitting, when kind of fully scaled, kind of gross profitability of just north of 60%.
Absolutely.
And then if I was to burn this, how long would it take to burn, and how much energy would it release?
So the main benefit of these products, and that's down to the kind of the calorific properties of coffee itself, is that they're more highly calorific than wood and kind of charcoal products. This is somewhere between wood and coal in terms of the spectrum of kind of energy content.
Okay.
And so this product would burn for about 2 and a bit hours compared to a conventional barbecue product, which might burn for about an hour and a bit, and then compared to a woody product, which would usually burn for 45 minutes or so, depending on how
you seem to have got kind of the supply chain side sorted in terms of collecting kind of the used coffee grounds. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the actual route to market? How are you selling these things back in?
So we sell to a handful of key corporate clients. So we're 100% business to business. This product is a consumer-facing product, however, it's still sold and distributed through clients, as opposed to us selling to 10,000 or 1 million consumers or whatever it happens to be. So our clients generally are the same as the ones that we actually collect the waste coffee grounds from in the first place. So, for example, in terms of the coffee logs, that's through a large petrol station chain, and also through a large supermarket chain, who we also already collect the waste coffee grounds from. In terms of a lot of our pellets and diesel products, that's sold back to a large instant coffee factory, and they actually power their factory and roastery using our pellets, which is
sourcing from the UK currently,
exactly. All sales and all sourcing is entirely from the UK.
Would you be looking to source from outside of the UK at any point?
Not source from, but we'd be looking to build factories outside of the UK. So essentially, we're looking to scale the business through both, initially through kind of diversifying in terms of our product range that we can produce from it. So not just liquid fuels and solid fuels, but also a range of biochemicals as well. And then also we look to develop internationally through essentially building coffee factories outside of the UK too.
To that point, the process of converting, is there anything unique in that? Have you patented? Do you have
so
IPR?
we've got a family of just under 5 patents, and we look to develop that to about 12 patents in the next 3 years. Well, there are a number of areas that are patentable, and debate is around kind of the time for kind of our IP strategy to go about that. But yeah.
Is there competition in this market? Do you have competitors doing something similar?
There's lots of competition in both the waste and energy markets, in terms of you're competing on a calorie basis and a waste.
But is there anybody doing anything like this
specifically coffee? We're the first, and as far as I'm aware, still the only ones in the world to be doing this.
And are you looking at any other types of products?
Yes,
currently at the moment.
So in terms of waste streams, or in terms of products at the back end, yes. In terms of waste streams, we're very focused on coffee at the moment, but there is a whole. The thing that's very exciting about this is that there's a whole range of really undervalued organic waste streams that can be very similar things can be turned from currently a negative cost, and you actually pay to get rid of it, to very valuable and sustainable products as well, because there's a massive environmental impact to this as well. I mean, to date we've saved over 300,000 tonnes in CO2 emissions.
Great.
Cool. Andy, that's the last voice question for you, just to make sure.
I guess in terms of kind of growing it over the next kind of 2 to 3 years, where do you think you can get to? I mean, in terms of the size of the businesses, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million business?
Yeah, I'm very optimistic. So I'd go for the upper end of that range. It's potentially a very, very profitable business, and also the potential is there to scale both nationally and internationally as well. So I'm very optimistic about the prospects of it, and certainly in terms of the traction we've got to date in the UK would kind of speaks to that. But then again, I'm the founder, so I would say that.
Good.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Arthur.
High end of that
Fantastic.
range. Well, I think you said 500 million, didn't you? So yeah, thank you for that. But congratulations, super job, well pitched, and congratulations on the crowdfunding as well.
Well, thank you.
Thursday. You probably haven't heard that one yet. I'm James Walker and I'm from Resolver. Oh, is it not? And I'm from Resolver, and we help consumers to be more effective at complaining. We launched in September 2014. Since then, we've grown to be the 4th largest consumer rights website in the UK. We're the only third party that's ever been allowed to use the Money Saving Expert brand, so we're Resolver in association with Money Saving Expert. And we are recommended and engaged with all the key regulators and ombudsmen in the UK. In essence, what we do is we help consumers to be more effective by explaining their rights, helping them prepare communications, recording everything that they send, including phone calls and emails, giving them templates to use, reminding them what to do and when, and if they can't resolve, we tell them when they can escalate their case to the Ombudsman. Free service for the consumer. This year we will help 1 million consumers resolve over £100 million of issues with businesses. We monetize the business by helping businesses to be more effective. We have the first 4 companies live who are pointing all of their complaints through Resolver. And the reason being is that we make it easier and more effective to understand the consumer. We can predict the best way to resolve your complaint based on who you are. So we look at you and your issue, and we help organisations to be able to understand consumers more effectively and how to resolve them. Why? Businesses spend £7.4 billion on resolving complaints, and yet at the end of the process, 45% of consumers are dissatisfied or worse. In addition to this, we've also created a platform to help resolve unresolved disputes. So if you get a parking fine in England and Wales and you appeal it, you'll be using our infrastructure. We're in negotiations with the Court Service and DWP about taking their appeal services online and making a fully online court system for the UK. Last year we turned over around 100,000. This year we're aiming to do 850,000 to 1 million. We have a team of 10 in the UK and 7 developers, and we are, in essence, focused on trying to take the friction out of complaints and make organisations more effective at resolving and helping them, therefore, to retain customers. Thank you.
Fantastic job, James. Wow, you nailed it, and in super fast time. You can do a dance if you want.
Okay.
I love the growth going into next year, 8 times. Just remind me again of the commercial because it's free to the consumer.
Yeah.
So who's paying you, and how many companies have you got paying you?
Free to consumer, free base service to businesses, because we put businesses in there if they like it or not. We have 30,000 companies covering 130 market sectors. Then what we do is that we upsell into organisations to help them be more effective at resolving complaints. We actually stop between 10 and 20% of consumers from complaining. When you explain to them their rights, they realise they don't have an issue. The rights are about creating a resolution culture and not a compensation culture. Second, when you write, we analyse your emotion, we analyse your profile, we analyse the type of person you are, we auto-summarise and we auto-recommend the best way to try and resolve an issue. And at the same time, we're actually then determining where businesses are failing in terms of customer service and actually benchmarking how they're doing against the rest of the market and the rest of I'm going to say the world, but that's a little bit excessive, against the rest of the UK's businesses that we've got in the system.
So James, on the 100,000 last year, 850,000 this year, what is the sort of the gross and the net profit?
So the net profit, we don't make a profit yet. It costs us about £1 million to run the business at the moment.
Because of the software?
Yeah, because effectively we're building 2 sets of software. We build a consumer system and a dispute resolution system and a business set of products. So last year we lost money, this year we'll lose money. We're going to profit next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
And in terms of kind of next 2 to 3 years out, how big do you think this can get? Kind of revenue figures.
UK. Resolver is the only thing like it in the world. If you go and find anything like Resolver anywhere else, I will pay you because there isn't. I perfectly know that because I've researched the whole market. Our intention is to grow this on an international scale. what we're talking about in terms of global opportunity within the English language speaking market is we've got a market potential of about 30 billion. If you take into account that the value that we can deliver per case is about £2 to £6, if you want to look at a UK market value, we've got a market value of over £1 billion.
Good answer. What type of team do you have in place to kind of facilitate this growth?
I have a head of products who's formerly at Boosu and Badoo, a head of technology that used to be at House, Trip and Forward and Wimdu, a head of product that used to run product for TfL, and then we have a team, we have journalists, we have customer service. Give you an idea in terms of what we do, we have 2 full-time customer service people that deal with 50 to 60,000 cases that are submitted per month.
What size is the team?
10 in the UK and 7 developers.
To deal with that volume of cases, though, there must be a significant amount of automation.
Yeah.
You haven't got an individual looking at the legal merits of somebody's complaint versus the businesses to do those volumes. So
No.
is it a big, massive algorithm in your software that's determining the best route through?
Yeah, so a few things. One is that we've got processes for cases, we've got rights which are based on a number of issues. So we have, for example, 9,000 sets of rights in the system that you can go and look up. Or actually we'll automatically find the best ones for you by you choosing. And then we have the ability to work out the best place to place an issue. We can look at the emotion in the language that you're using, look at the type of thing, and be able to route it into the right place in the organisation. So therefore, if you look at, for example, RBS or NatWest, any complaints going into them go into a triage system that somebody looks at it and then determines where it should go next. Well, actually, we can remove the full triage system because we can automatically work out the best routing process.
And are you also measuring obviously you're saying customers that are dissatisfied,
Yeah.
and what the actual net promoter,
Yeah.
what the
Yes.
positive of that is?
Yeah, and I hear a lot of people say that they'd like to be like Apple. Apple's customer satisfaction outcome after a complaint's 3.9, compared to Icelandic Air that's at 9.3. So personally, I'd say you should want to be like Icelandic Air and not like Apple, is my view.
So which markets have you been successful then the last couple of years in? Is it mainly around public sector? Heard you mention financial banks and that kind of stuff. Is there anything specific sector that you're targeting?
No, we actually went totally against what everyone told us to do and focus, and we went wide.
Okay.
We are the largest submitter of flight claims in Europe, the largest submitter of package bank accounts to the Financial Ombudsman, the largest submitter of complaints to the Energy Ombudsman, the Telecoms Ombudsman. Our 4 largest areas are travel, finance, retail and telecoms.
Okay.
Wow, there you go, Gavin. We're both telecoms guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I probably submit some to you each week.
Oh, I do. I get them, so does Tom Mockridge. Just one thought went through my head there as you're talking about this automated process of companies and customers. So, did you take any legal liability in your recommendations? Is there a contract I'm signing with you on your advice, as I might do with...
As a consumer, do you mean?
As a consumer or a business.
Okay. As a consumer, we're a free service, and therefore it's a limited level of liability. We're the only for-profit member of Advice UK, which is a charity of charities, which means that we have £5 million indemnity insurance. So we're actually able to give you consumer advice, so we're underwritten for that. In terms of for businesses, what we're doing is recommending the best way to deal with it. So actually what we're doing is we're looking at every outcome for a person like you with the emotion like you, and then we can start predicting the best way to solve a problem that actually helps solve your problem. If I go and look, for example, at the way that businesses will try and resolve customer complaints, typically they will go for a sort of, okay, if it's all right, it's this, if it's really bad, it's this. If you go and look at the customer satisfaction, the net promoter scores of consumers, and you take consumer profile across the profile type for the same issue with the same emotion, you get completely and utterly different satisfaction levels. Not everyone is the same, but organisations don't have the intelligence to be able to work out from the knowledge that they have of what's the best way to be able to address and resolve a consumer's issue.
Good.
Great.
We've run out of time, James, but can I just thank you for your energy at this time of night?
Yeah, well
You
done.
really sound like you know what you're talking about. It's a fantastic pitch, and the questions were really well answered. It's a super job.
Cool. Well, somebody needs to brighten you up a bit. At this time of night, you're probably on Pro Plus.
Super job.
Cool.
Well
Carry
done.
on.
Well
Thanks,
done.
James.
Thank you, James.
Have you ever accidentally killed a garden plant? Well, if you have, it probably wasn't your fault. 30% of the plants that are sold in the UK die within the first year of purchase. And 90% of those are actually just the wrong plant in the wrong place. Gardening is an absolutely massive market. It's the UK's top garden hobby. People love gardening. And globally, it's worth $200 billion. But it's not come into the 21st century, and it's not meeting the needs of every gardener today. It is ripe for disruption. My name is Nicola Gammon, and I've launched Shoot to transform the way people garden and to enable everyone to become a successful gardener. I'm not an expert myself. I had some basic problems. I bought plants that died. I threw away the plant labels, so I couldn't remember what my plants were called. And I knew I needed to do things in my garden, but if I could ever be bothered to look it up in a book or on the internet, it was always the wrong time of year. And I thought, how am I supposed to remember to prune my wisteria in February? Can't just somebody tell me what to do? Shoot takes the pain and confusion away from gardening by giving every member a personalized garden plan, telling them what they should plant, where they should put it, and how to care for it every month. And we also send them helpful reminders by email so they don't forget. Although there's tons of information out there about gardening and plants, Shoot is completely unique. There's no other service that provides personalized, proactive information to you about your garden. And we've already grown organically through Google search and referrals to 100,000 members. 75% of those members have joined within the last 3 years, and they already come from 77 countries. 5,000 are professionals, including garden designers and landscapers, who save time and money by creating maintenance schedules in Shoot for their clients. Our business model is a freemium subscription. Our current conversion to paid is 6%. Our lifetime average contribution is £250, and our current cost of acquisition is 0. We're highly gross profitable at 97% gross profit, and last year we were 20% net profitable. My members have further shown their love by supporting us in a crowdfunding initiative where we raised £500,000 in record time. And that's allowed me to hire a kick-ass team, including a web developer, social media person, customer support, and internal sales. And now I want to go boom. I want to grow to 1 million members by 2020. There's huge potential for Shoot to scale. I mentioned at the beginning that the market is enormous, and by winning the VOOM competition, it would be a significant step towards that by shining a spotlight on what Shoot can do for gardeners everywhere. I hope very much you put me through to the next round. Thank you for listening.
Nicola, thank you. Bang on time and with amazing passion and energy at this time.
Thank
and
you.
so congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. So a couple of questions
Yes.
starting for me. How long has your business been up and running?
So it started 7 years ago, but initially we were selling primarily content to retailers. And in the last 4 years, we've switched our focus to selling subscriptions. So that's why we've had a significant growth in that trajectory. Yeah.
I've got you. And then just a little bit of sort of technical stuff, personal plant planners, proactive stuff.
Yes.
Is that some form of digital
Yes.
Platform
So what makes us
or is it
unique?
paper-based?
We now have the UK's largest plant database, and also the content is uniquely structured. So it's relational content. So if you say, this plant is in my garden, we can create a care schedule specific to you. As the end user, you can also opt in and out of care type. So if you're a new gardener and you don't want to learn about propagate, you just take propagating out and it comes out of your calendar. So it's all the way that we've structured our content, is the way that we've...
Primary access it just by logging on or through an app?
So it's logging onto a website. Currently we have a mobile web, but not an app.
Okay.
So it's web.
I've got you.
And so people would, go around and test the pH in their gardens and upload it onto their...
Yes, so the more information you can tell us about the garden, the more we can assist you with working out what you should be putting in your garden. There's a huge influx of people who've just moved house, and they come onto the website and ask our community to identify what plants they have. And once they've been identified, they can keep a list, and then we'll remind them of how to care for them.
Because if they don't do
Yes.
a profile of pH and chalkiness, then
Yes.
you can't tell them the right plant for the
That's
right
correct.
place.
what there is an opportunity for us, because we have such a huge community of professionals, is now to match those people together with the novices. So that's something that we're looking at, is if you're a new gardener, you buy a new house, you don't know what the pH of your soil is, you know, you could take it, you know, we give you instructions in terms of how to assess probably what type of soil you have. But if you'd like to find a local expert, that's the service that we could provide by matching those two people together.
Wouldn't you just sell a pH kit?
Yes, we could. We could. We dabbled for a period of time with a marketplace, but actually found that I'd scaled it too much for the size of the team. So we've come back to just focusing on the subscriptions at the moment.
Can you tell me a little bit about, so you said you're in 77 countries currently.
Yes.
Which of those countries are kind of your key markets, and then within that, kind of who's your target demographic?
Yeah, so we haven't officially launched outside the UK yet. People have just found us online. So we already have paying members in the US, even though we haven't, our content's not set up for the US yet. So they're kind of like approximating what the care would be for their market. So there's already a pull. We also have a lot of people in Europe, so we've got like the Netherlands, France, Scandinavia as key markets. And the reason I know that is because I've now implemented something called Intercom, where I'm seeing where people are logging in from. And that was actually a surprise to me that there was that many people globally already using it.
What would it take for you to kind of really service those?
So what we'd have to do is just change the way our content is structured. Yeah. It's not a massive problem. I've already looked into it. So, for example, we might say, check for aphids in February on your roses, and that doesn't make any sense if you live in Calgary. So, but the instruction is the same, it's just the timing is slightly different. So we just have to rejig our content. The other thing we'd have to do is we'd have to add in specific pests and diseases that vary by region. So in the US, they'll have different ones. But it's not a massive problem to solve.
You said 6% conversion from freemium.
Yes.
What are they paying you for?
So they, the home members are paying £36 a year, and what they get is they get a personalised plant list, so they can actually keep an inventory of what they've got in their garden, and we send them personalised advice of what to do every month. Professionals use Sheet for their clients. That starts at is £19 a month, 190 a year, and scales up now to over 2,000. So it's scaled on the number of active client gardens they have.
Have you got people buying subscriptions for other people as gifts and things?
Absolutely, we do.
That was one of the things I picked up on, actually, was the freemium piece and the 6% conversion rate. Do you have a strategy in place to try and increase that 6%?
Yes, we do. So we're improving the whole product, you know, in terms of the inbound funnel, but also the conversion to paid, and also our retention. So our retention currently, our churn from Barometrics is now 1.4%. Okay. So I've heard that's probably pretty good, but we're always looking to try and improve the onboarding process. We've also done quite a lot of customer analysis, so we've really segmented our market, and what we know is that we do extremely well with professionals, we do very well with time-rich experts, but the biggest market really is novices, so people who really don't know very much about gardening, and currently our onboarding is a little bit confusing for them. It's not as easy as it could be.
Sure.
So that could be improved.
Okay.
We have run out of time.
Thank you very much.
Nicola, well, fantastic pitch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the energy at this time of night. Super job.
Thank you very much. We'll see you the next round.
Yeah, take that dead plant out.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
All right, hi, I'm John, co-founder and CEO of Pobble. So Pobble is a teacher-founded edtech startup, and our mission is to make writing ridiculously exciting again for children. So first of all, I want you to think back to when you're 8 years old, right? So imagine you're at your desk, in your class, in your school, and you've just done a piece of writing that you're really, really proud of. So what do you want for that work? Well, probably you want people to read it, right? If you're proud of it. Well, maybe you want an audience for it. So Pobble shares and celebrates children's writing online, and we give them a worldwide audience for their written work. We're like a digital global classroom wall, if you like. So anyway, Pobble was founded by 3 teachers and a WordPress manual. We were very much bootstrapped, we were working around the kitchen table, but I remember the day that we got our first check from a school. And it was this kind of amazing moment when we realized that schools would actually pay for what we were doing. Not only that, they also gave us data to show that Pobble was having an impact on literacy attainment in their classes. Obviously key for schools, but also key for society as a whole. So we crowdfunded on Crowdcube. We had the most views of any pitch that year on Crowdcube. And that MVP that we built on a WordPress blog got us to £40,000 of monthly revenue from schools. So in September of last year, backed by some of the kind of top edtech angels in the UK, we launched a new platform ready for scale. Since then, we've gone through Microsoft Ventures Accelerator. We've won various awards, including the European Business Plan of the Year competition last year. Right now, we're signing up about 1,000 teachers and parents every single week, and we get well over 1,000 teachers every single day using Pobble in their classes around the world. It's pretty cool to think that this kind of venture that started out in North Yorkshire now gets more traffic from abroad than it does from the UK. But we're also working right now with about 50,000 children already. And I guess the thing that's sort of really unique and cool about Pobble is we've now built the world's largest bank of children's handwritten work anywhere in the world. So just to finish up, I want to share a bit of a story around someone called Fred. So Fred is 6, he's dyslexic, and he really hates writing. At least that was until his teacher found Pobble. I came across his work on our platform as part of our Winter Writer competition judging. And I was looking at this work and I kind of couldn't really decipher these things. But then I started to understand what he was writing about, and it was incredible. So he wrote that the morning was as chilly as the North Pole. The road looked like silk into the distance and the water looked like silk. Like amazing writing from a 6-year-old that doesn't like writing. Like incredible. Anyway, he won the Winter Writing competition. He got thousands of views from all over the world and tons of comments. But one comment stuck out for me. He said that I'm the proudest dad on planet Earth tonight. I picked up Fred from school and he was jumping up and down like a pogo stick. Thank you, Pobble, for giving me back my confident boy. Now, Fred is one of thousands of children that we're working with. We really are changing lives. What I'm really excited about is potentially helping with you guys coming in, helping us to boom that journey, and hopefully together we can impact millions of lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Super job, John. Very well
and just
presented.
in case you're interested while you're asking questions,
yeah,
that is Fred Potts writing.
If it's okay, because it sounds like you've got lots of numbers and lots of growth going on.
Yeah.
And as you say, it's a UK and global business. So let's cut to the commercial end of things. How does the payment model? How's your revenue flowing to you, and in what way? So
it basically works a subscription to schools. Average schools are paying about £2,000, or our average number is about £2,000 per year per school. What's interesting is it's a combination of the online subscription, but also offline services that help to onboard schools into using Pobble. So we have a team of teachers that help with staff training, etc. But in terms of real numbers, we had 500 classrooms this time last year. We now have 2,000 paying classrooms right now. So that gives you an idea of our online kind of subscription growth.
Convert that into revenue for me. What was last year's revenue?
Last year's revenue is about £350,000.
Keep it going,
and
forward.
We're hoping to double that this academic year, because obviously there's more of a focus on the online revenue than the offline.
Get you.
In 3 years' time, we'll be at about £8 million of revenue, and we'll have a profit margin at that point of about 50%.
Now, are you tying this in with the national curriculum in any way?
So what's nice about the platform is because it's all user-generated content, it's curriculum agnostic. So you can use it anywhere to share whatever writing you want. Having said that, there are specific things in the curriculum, such as peer-to-peer assessment, which we support specifically, and we help schools to do that. We can connect up classrooms from different places and have them commenting on each other's work.
So when you say different places, you talked about all around the world. Is this only in English?
So there is work shared in Arabic, in Welsh, in English at the moment. But for example, this last week we had a Chinese school come on board, sign up a class and pay for it, and they shared their first piece of work a couple of days ago. So it's anywhere from China to South Africa to America to the UK. Having said that, most of the paying classes, about 90%, are currently in the UK.
And would
That's where we're focused.
the revenue model be the same?
Yes, so as we productize the product more, so essentially making it really intuitive to sign up online, pay online, and use the products entirely without any staff training or intervention, then it becomes very possible to license to different countries.
So you've got kind of the largest bank of kind of children different work there. Do you have any plans to kind of monetize that? What can you do with that going forward?
So a couple of interesting things. So one around assessment. So we can do a lot of stuff around moderation. Schools always tell us that it's really challenging to assess work because it's so subjective. But having that bank of writing, we're working on with a couple of the academy chains as our kind of product development partners to build out a moderation sort of methodology that will be really, really valuable to schools in the sort of 6 months time frame. In terms of actually monetizing the content, there's definitely potential for sort of parent monetization, perhaps with books of children's writing or calendars, things like that.
I was going to ask about merchandising.
Yeah, or even having publishers use our content. There's some amazing content in there.
Yeah.
Father's Day, for example. There's tons of descriptions of what my dad does.
So do you have plans for sort of a product area, a merchandising area?
Yes, potentially, but we do see that to being a few years down the line for the simple fact that if you can get into the schools, you have real trusted brand, brand sort of awareness.
Yeah. I'm correct in saying that the countries you're focused on at the moment are English. Do you plan to move to multi-language at a point?
Yeah, absolutely. So we will do for sure. At the moment, it's really UK and the Middle East are our two main markets. I used to live in Abu Dhabi, so I have a lot of connections with teachers. I used to sing with lots of them. So that helped us to get in there. But really, yeah, UK, Middle East. I spent a bit of time in the US, and there's huge potential there. But of course, we're going to need bigger funding sort of levels in order to.
Anything like this service from anybody else? Anything in the same space that could rock your world?
So there are obviously all the big publishers that are kind of watching us and wondering what we're doing. But what's interesting is no one is focused on handwritten work. And so at the beginning, that was kind of this sort of worry for us: was this really going to fly? But actually, teachers, kids are still going to have to learn to write. And it's very much a specific issue that schools are telling us they need to address. So no one else is doing exactly what we're doing. There are a couple of small players, sort of 1 or 2 man kind of bands, I guess, that are doing bits and bobs in the space, but nothing, I think, with the global view that we hope to achieve.
Fantastic. We have just boomed out of time, John. Thank you. You hit your pitch bang on. Great energy.
Great.
Love the progress. And thank you for your pitch today.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hashtag GCW, what we're doing is trying to make golf cool, which to a person outside of golf might seem like a sort of gargantuan task with the image that it's actually got, but we're creating content for a younger audience that's really underserved by traditional golfing media, shown by the big publishing houses, but their audiences are 50 plus. So we've created this huge audience now. We started off 2 years ago as a small Twitter account, and we've grown up to be now the most engaged social media golf brand in the whole of the world. So golf's got a huge problem. Its participation numbers are dwindling. It's got an image. It's quite often in the headlines, probably for the wrong reasons. If you I speak to people all the time about why don't you play golf, and you get the same reasons. It's slightly snooty, or it's elitist, or it's expensive, or it's slow. And all these things are true to a certain extent, and golf doesn't do a very good job of counteracting these, especially golf media, which is very much, the golf media is in the pockets of all the brands, as a lot of media companies are these days. They just look at the bottom line, and that's where we're slightly different, and we want to be that solution. I think, what we've got is this young audience that's very engaged with what we do. We've got we've built up in 2 years to 250,000 unique users. We're getting 1.5 million video views a month. We're getting, and we have 150,000 followers on social media. So whether that be Twitter, Facebook, and we're going into Snapchat and Instagram. And we're trying to get across the message that golf can be cool. You can wear cool clothes to play golf. You can find places that are slightly cheaper to play golf. You can have fun. Whether you take it really seriously or you're just going for a knock with your mates, it can be fun. But once again, golf media doesn't serve this people, and like I say again, it's all about the bottom line with them. Whereas we're trying to really change the game and really change that image. Golf brands are struggling as well. The bottom line in all the big golf brands, they're really struggling, but it's at a tipping point now where they've really got to change what they're doing. If they don't reach a younger audience, their audience is getting older and older. If they don't reach that younger audience, they're in trouble. So there's a turning point, and that's an opportunity for us. So we think golf needs us. We've built a team up. We've made mistakes over the 2 years that we've been going. We've made mistakes, and I've learned myself that in a business, I can't do everything. I was very precious with it at first, but now we've brought in commercial guys to really monetize what we're doing. And our advantage is, I think that we really find, I think social media is a brilliant tool for media. I mean, years ago, you couldn't just start a media company. But now social media really democratizes that if you're creating the best content.
So that's your time.
Okay.
We'll try and help you because it sounds like you've got a bit more to us. We'll help you a little bit with the questions.
No worries.
So just kind of going back to the basics, I get the thing about targeting youth, and I'm a fart golfer myself, so I get it. Is this just a golf website that people log on to?
So we have a golf website, which is where we get, so we have a golf website. We really grew out of social media. We started up 2.5 years ago, and it was just a bit of fun, and we've grew an audience, and we're like, there's probably a business here because we've got this audience, and we've dealt with, and we've got to a stage now where we've got this, so we're creating content on social media, and then, which might be 140 characters on Twitter, but then sometimes a story needs a little bit more to it, so that's where the website comes in. We have an app that people can download where we'll get details from there. We've also got a podcast, which is the #1 golf podcast in the UK, and yeah, so that's where people can use it. And then brands, so we're now monetizing it. We're going out to people like Nike in Amsterdam, whose target audience for golf is a 28-year-old male. And through traditional media, they're only reaching a 50-year-old male. So we've got this audience that no one else, you can't just build this audience, you can't buy it.
Got it about the audience?
So 2.5 years ago, you started.
Yeah.
What has your revenue stream been like?
So the revenue stream, so this is where I've made mistakes, and this is where sort of we started up, and it was a little bit of trial and error. So we've got relationships with all the golf brands, and we're getting little bits of advertising here and there with all the golf brands. But we were very precious about what we did because there's a high value, so our revenue model is...
What were your revenue numbers?
Pardon?
What are your revenue numbers for last year?
For the last year, so it's very scattered, but our revenue building on is because we've had to set up our website so it's completely ready for higher CPMs. We didn't want to really devalue it by putting it out to Google Ad Exchange or what have you and putting it on cheap. So basically we've set it up so that we've got 250,000 users. We've got 3 ad spaces on each page, which times 12 months, and £20 per thousand is the average CPM, which works at 180,000 inventory per year. We've also got the opportunity to sponsor, so have media partners, whether it be travel partners or clothing partners, which would be a £20,000 per year on sponsorship. And another one, what we're finding is that, sorry.
What do you think this will actually generate in terms of revenue? So if we look at the money that it'll actually bring in, so it's like the different
revenue.
Did you not have any revenue last year?
Yeah, so we did, but it's very much just covering costs up to this stage. I brought in so basically I brought in my friend James, he's worked in a financial publisher, which is very transferable. So it's basically with a subscriber base, and he's come in to really run the commercial side of the business.
What was the figure?
What was the figure last year?
For the figure last year, so
revenue figure.
It would be probably in 5,000.
Okay.
Nothing major. It's a shoestring, but we're building up.
Planning?
So we're planning, like for the 3 different styles, it's 330,000.
Okay.
Okay,
good.
great.
Okay.
Fantastic. Andy?
Yeah, I was going to say, where do you see this kind of going? So you've talked about lots of different kind of revenue streams.
Yeah.
When this starts to mature and you get everything in place, what do you think you can actually start to generate kind of as a kind of meaningful revenue year on year?
So that would be, our year on year would be 335. Our audience is 90% mobile and 90% UK and Ireland. The American golf market is 15 times the size of the UK, and there's a similar media landscape, underserved to the millennials, they would call them out in America, underserved over there. So there's a real opportunity, and that's the kind of thing that we want we need help. We've never expanded to the US as a business, and that's where we see real opportunity.
US expansion.
Just very quickly, you mentioned Nike. You'd met Nike, obviously McElroy, young person, your type of audience. What are you doing there? Do you have a deal nearly set up? Or
so their marketing spend is all in the first 3 months of a year.
Yeah.
So running up to the Masters, which is in April, they spend it all there. They're flipping their spend from 80-20 from traditional media to more digital influencers.
Sure.
They're going 80-20 the other way.
You want to capture the digital
piece. That is
piece,
exactly it, the digital side. And there's no one else with our sort of young audience.
Sure.
Okay. Any more questions or?
And you mentioned that you brought in some commercial people to the team. Does that include, is that just for the finance side or is it the marketing side?
It's very much to bring money into the business. I've learned this through time, that my expertise is more in creating engaging content and not trying to do that side of the business. And I've learned that getting people to do their own strengths is so important. And that is why James has come in, and he's been a revelation since he's come in the last few months.
Fantastic. Well, Ryan, I mean, thank you for sharing that.
No worries.
I'm a big golf fan myself.
Okay.
And I've got a son who's 22, plays golf.
Yeah.
So he will be on your site and nowhere where I would go. So I get
it's not age completely, it's attitude as well.
No, I know, absolutely. And I wear lots of ridiculous clothes on the golf course, so congratulations.
You might have featured on our social media.
Yeah. So good job, sir.
No worries.
Done.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
No worries. Cheers.
I'm one of the co-founders of Dream Nation, but I want to do something a little bit different, if that's okay with you. Instead of going through all the bells and whistles of my company right now, I wanted to go talk about 2 stories about how we impact the lives of our customers, and hopefully in the question section we can talk about our finances, our market opportunity, and our team. The first story is about Emma. Emma is a university student. She's currently searching for the perfect graduate job. She wants to find a company where she can do meaningful work. But as you can imagine, this is really hard to balance with studying, as well as trying to fit in things like extracurricular activities and trying to squeeze in a social life in the process as well. Most of her friends simply settle for applying for businesses that have the biggest presence on her campus, but Emma wants to find somewhere where she can actually go and make a big impact. The second story is about James. James is the HR director at a FTSE 350 company. Last year, his firm actually turned over £800 million. However, you've probably never heard of him or his company. And as a result, it means that he simply can't attract the best talent to his firm because he can't apply to a business that you've never heard of. This is where Dream Nation steps in. Our mission as a business is to empower the next generation of leaders through beautifully designed events and media. As a result, we've been able to build an audience of 17,000 people similar to Emma. How we can help James is by using our influence both on and offline to connect people like Emma to James's company, therefore improving the quality and standard and number of young graduates applying to his firm. We have 2 major advantages. The first is the fact that we've been able to build this community, and within this community it's filled with lots of young and ambitious adults that have a bias towards personal development. As a result, it's become one of the best talent pools to recruit from. Our second advantage is our understanding of this community, which allows us to constantly create events that have a meaningful impact on this audience. With the help of Virgin, we hope to be able to put on more events and offer new services such as training for this audience, as well as develop new technologies that will help connect people like Emma to people like James. Thank you very much.
Claude, thank you, and brilliantly presented in a short space of time. As you say, we'll ask you some questions on your financial models. What initially goes through my mind is, particularly having got kids going through uni and one that's just left, is that surely there are lots of vehicles of connecting undergraduates to companies, application processes, companies having online intermediaries. So where's your unique space in that? Because university graduates have been leaving university for the last 10 years and lots of them finding jobs. So how's your unique space created here?
Okay, so what's unique about us is because we're focused on companies at the bottom half of, say, the FTSE 350, what we found is that simply young people just don't know about them. So if you go to jobs websites such as Milk Round and so on and so forth, you might see the name of a business, but you have no information what they're about. Through our media platform, through things like events and through putting out content on our website, we're able to help people develop more of a relationship with this business. For example, you'd love to work at a company like Virgin because you know about people like Richard Branson, but you've never heard of, let's say, X.com, so therefore you don't know what it's like to work there.
I'm with you. So it's the size of the company that nobody's really addressing and building the relationship with the community.
That's
Got
right.
it?
How do you make your money? Are you charging Emma or James, or Emma and James?
Okay, so we do charge Emma a small amount in terms of coming to events. That amount is subsidised by the significantly bigger amount that we charge James.
Okay.
So James pays us for things like creating native advertising for our website, as well as sponsorship for things like events.
And is there sort of like a who's who or something that people could read a bit about his company then? Is that what he's paying for?
Yeah, so for example, if James was sponsoring one of our events, then he would have a segment in the event where we can talk about him, but then also on our website, we'll be able to create content that talks more about what James' business does, as well as the culture at the business, and kind of creating more affinity between James and Emma.
Okay, that makes sense.
Tell me a little bit about Dream Nation today. So when did you start out?
So we started officially in 2014, so we are still quite a young company in that sense.
And have you kind of grown the user base over the last couple of years?
Okay, so when we started in 2014, we had about 300 people attending our events. We had about 400 people following us across our social media platforms. Over the course of 2015 to now, we've now grown to 15,000 people following us across our different platforms, and our event attendees have gone up to 1,200.
Okay, and then I guess kind of same question for the businesses. How many kind of paying businesses have you got?
Okay, so in terms of the paying side of the business, we've only just recently launched that side of it within the last month or so. As of right now, we're in negotiations with 8 companies, 3 of which we're working out the terms of what their deal will look like in terms of sponsorship, finances, and so on and so forth.
And would a part of that, because they said they would pay to come to events, but do you get a fee for every graduate they recruit?
Pardon?
Do you get a fee for every graduate the business recruits?
That will be hopefully one of the featured developments for our business as we create something that looks a bit more like a recruitment company in connection with the media business.
So not at this stage?
Not at this stage,
They just
no.
pay to come to events, so you're a broker, but you don't get a payment for the transaction?
So think of it more in terms of, if I was a broker, what we get paid for from the companies is the fact that they get the biggest sign at an event in terms of whether if their event's in the event name, or in terms of also the content that we produce on the website, similar to the way that BuzzFeed operates.
Good.
And what's the event frequency? How many events would you run through a year, and do you run them in different locations across the country? How does that
So currently we're focused on hosting 3 main events throughout the course of the year. Those events what's been successful about our events is the amount of impact we'll be able to generate online. So for example, the 3 events we held last year generated more than 5 million impressions on Twitter. They trended twice across the UK, and therefore has been able to attract a lot of attention. One of the big changes that we're looking to add this year is live streaming. So if we're able to get, let's just say, 1% of the audience that sees us on Twitter to watch the live stream, then we're talking about at least 50,000 people watching the events online.
Okay.
Is your strength over time with your relationship with these companies that are poorly served, or is it with the size of the community you can create throughout all the UK's universities?
I would say it's within the size of the community that we can create, without a doubt. We've been able to build quite a good relationship with them, which is why they've been really loyal to us as opposed to other companies that they could be working with.
How big does that get, that community, 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I would say hopefully we'll be talking closer to the 200,000 sort of mark.
Yeah.
And are you just talking UK and Ireland at that point?
For now, no. In 5 years' time, I would hope that we begin to make an impact across the world. So we've been having people from America, for example, contact us and asking, can we host similar events that we're doing here in the UK out over there?
And how would you run that? What are your plans for the team?
So
what are your plans for the team?
The team?
To source that? Are you looking at a franchise situation, or
Okay,
how would you do
I
that?
think we're similar to the way that a company like BuzzFeed does. So we'd probably open an office over in whatever countries or locations we want to go to,
Right.
and recruit local talent from there to go to build the business.
Okay.
Well, Claude, we have run out of time, sir, which is because we were asking you lots of questions. That's our fault. But fantastic pitch. I like the way you put it.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the progression so far. And thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
All right.